All right, let's start out with a quiz. So let's take a look at this situation. We have some friends having a little barbecue, and this pretty young lady here is asking her friend about a beer. So she says, "Do you want a beer?" He is person B. He says, "No, thank you." So which answer is more natural? Is it A, "Do you like beer?" or B, "Don't you like beer?" We will give you the answer later in the lesson. And of course, don't forget, as always, to find us on YouTube at Acquire English, Facebook Acquire English, and you can find our courses on Udemy and Skillshare. So welcome once again. This is our 30th episode. Shocking, 30 times. So my name is Adam. I'm here as always with Tuan. And Tuan, in today's conversation, we're talking about some big news that happened, right? So where do you usually get your news from?
Online, usually. I check the local, the news back in the UK, so BBC, yeah, maybe a British newspaper.
Okay.
Online.
You don't watch any local news in Japanese?
I sometimes check the Japan Times, but only usually for specific information.
Okay.
If there's a big story or something, yeah. How about you?
In the morning, I often watch Japanese news, just kind of to have something on in the background. I don't pay too much attention to it, but normally checking it to see if the trains are on schedule. They'll give you a little update to see if the trains are on schedule. They will, tell you the weather, important stuff like that. I mean, most of the news is kind of fluff. It's kind of not super important news that they tell you in the morning news generally. So, but yeah, I'm the same as well. I watch a lot of American news online, or I often just read headlines, to be honest. I don't even read the articles all that much. Just in general, I'd like to know what's happening, so I just check out the headlines. But these days, they often just tell you what you want to know, right? The news just tells you the headlines that they think you want to know. So it's not always a good way to find out the best news.
Yeah.
But also Facebook or Twitter or Reddit, I get a lot of news on there as well. So Instagram, types of things. Yeah. But let's just go ahead and take a look at today's conversation. What's the deal with all the trains today? All of them seem to be stopped.
Didn't you hear about the accident?
No, I had no idea.
Don't you watch the news?
No, not really.
Well, apparently it was really bad.
Crazy. Okay, let's go ahead and go line by line to break down the conversation. So the first line of the conversation was this one here. What's the deal with all the trains today? All of them seem to be stopped. So what's the deal with all of the trains today? So did something happen today? We use this, what's the deal with, kind of like what's happening with, or what happened. So what's the deal with all of the trains today? Did something happen today? Many trains are not moving, right? So you can see in the picture, many people waiting for the train. What's going on? You can see up here also says delay, which means the trains are not coming or coming late. And the next line?
Didn't you hear about the accident?
Didn't you hear about the accident? Means there was an accident. I'm surprised that you didn't know. I'm surprised that you didn't hear about it. And the next line here? No, I had no idea. So no, I had no idea. I've heard nothing about an accident. So zero knowledge of an accident.
Don't you watch the news?
Don't you watch the news means it was on the news. Why didn't you see it?
No, not really.
So don't you watch the news? No, not really. So I don't watch the news very much. So I don't really watch the news. This not really, I feel like, is a really natural expression that a lot of non-native speakers don't use enough, right? So of course, sometimes I see the news, but it means basically never, but of course, sometimes, right? How do you use not really, Tuan?
Yeah, a little bit, or sometimes, or almost.
Almost
Not
never,
really,
right?
Yeah, almost. Yeah.
Yeah. So if someone said, if I said, do you watch baseball?
No, not
No,
really.
right. Let's say, do you, I'm trying to think of something you don't like very
Even
much.
something like, are you hungry?
Yeah. Are you hungry?
Are you hungry?
Not
No,
really.
not really.
Yeah. So for me, that question could be no, not really, because I could always eat. I can eat at any point, really. But yeah, I'm not really hungry now. I'll wait to eat until later. So really good expression, that not really. Not so much, basically. Let's go ahead and go on to the next line.
Well, apparently it was really bad.
So, well, apparently it was really bad. So this apparently, we could say, it seems that it was a terrible accident. So apparently and it seems are basically the same there. And we use this because Tuan, our character here, Tuan, was not at the accident. He didn't go look at it. So this is kind of secondhand information. This is from the news or people say. So we use apparently in that situation. If Tuan saw the accident, you can say it was really bad. It was terrible. But since he wasn't there and he's hearing it on the news, we would use apparently or it seems. And the last line. Crazy. Crazy. Crazy can have many meanings, but in this case, it just means, oh no, that's too bad. Right? Okay. And let's go ahead and get into today's grammar point. So today we're going to talk about negative questions. And we had 2 negative questions in the conversation. The first one was this one here.
Didn't you hear about the accident?
Didn't you hear about the accident? So negative questions. So notice it's not did you hear about the accident, but didn't you? So we have the negative question mark at the beginning. So it shows surprise. In this case, there was a terrible train accident. It's big news, but it seems you don't know about it. Right? Remember in the conversation, I'm asking why, what was the sentence? This one here. What's the deal with all the trains? All of them seem to be stopped. So it seems I know nothing about this accident. So there was a terrible train accident. It's big news. It seems you don't know about it. And it surprises me that you don't know about it. So in these situations, we use negative questions. In this case, didn't you hear about the accident? It would be strange to say, did you hear about the accident in this situation? Did I miss anything there, Tuan?
Yeah, maybe just using the did you hear the accent would be the first thing I would say if it was to be used.
Right. If you, yeah, that's a good point. If you use, did you hear about the accident? It would be maybe first thing you say to someone. But in this case, it's not the first thing. And Tuan is showing surprise that it seems I don't know about it. Okay. And we had one more sentence, this one here.
Don't you watch the news?
Don't you watch the news? Again, showing surprise. So Tuan is thinking, I think that everyone watches the news. It seems that you don't watch the news. So it surprises me that you don't watch the news, right? And again, if you ask, do you watch the news, would be strange in this situation because it doesn't show any of this surprise. And that's what this negative question does. We're showing some kind of surprise. You okay? Okay, let's look at an example. I think this first one will make this point really clear. So, negative questions. And I didn't mention before, there's other uses for negative questions, but today we're only talking about ones that show surprise. So, this situation, beautiful day, beautiful hot day, people are at the beach, and this guy shows up to the beach, comes to see his friend. He's wearing pants and shoes and a jacket and a vest. So this person here would not say, are you hot? Because are you hot does not show any surprise. So Tuan, what would we change are you hot to in this situation to show that he is surprised?
So natural way to show your surprise would be to use the negative, aren't you hot?
Right. So aren't you hot? And of course, if in winter, if there's snow on the ground and someone comes up in a t-shirt and shorts, we would say what, Tuan?
Aren't you cold?
Aren't you cold, right? Very common expressions there. In winter, I walk around in my house in short sleeve shirts quite often, and my wife asks me all the time, aren't you cold? So very, very common to say. Okay, let's look at the next one here. So we have our two characters here. You can see we're talking about lunch, no lunch work, and then hungry. So I am person A here, right here. So do you want to go eat lunch? This one here. Do you want to go eat lunch? Person B, Tuan says, no, I'm going to work during my lunch break. So no lunch. I'm not going to go to a restaurant. I'm going to work because Tuan is a very hard worker. Right, of course. And then I say, oh, will you be hungry later? So this is a very strange way to say this. So we'll give you a couple of seconds to think about it. How would we make this a negative question to show surprise? I'm surprised he doesn't want to go eat lunch. How would we make this a negative question? Okay, what do you think, Tuan?
So the grammar is fine. You can say, will you be hungry later? But it just sounds unnatural. So we just want to stress that we want to try to sound more natural. And you would say, won't you be hungry later?
Right, right. Won't you be hungry later? Or won't you be hungry later? Okay, it would be a much more natural expression. So if someone says they're going to skip lunch, I would think, oh man, around 2 or 3, you're going to be really hungry. So won't you be hungry later? Okay, and the next one. So here we have, again, I am person A. So are you excited for the next World Cup? So World Cup is coming, it's 2021 now, next year, right?
In Qatar,
2022 in Qatar, right? So are you excited? Is it going to be in winter? In December? That's right. Probably smart move. Not many people want to be in Qatar in middle of summer playing soccer. But anyway, are you excited for the next World Cup? And Tuan shockingly says, not really. So I would say, you are from England. Do you like soccer? So from my experience, most people from England enjoy a little bit of football, right? Enjoy a little bit of soccer. So I would be shocked if this happened. So you're from England. Do you like soccer? How would we make this a negative question to show we are surprised?
Would say, don't you like soccer
Right.
or football?
Make it negative. Don't you like soccer? So this is a completely made up situation. Tuan, of course, is a soccer fanatic or a football fanatic. He loves it. Hopefully we can watch some of these games together. Hopefully England and the US match up at some point. I think they did a few years ago. Did we watch that together?
Yeah, maybe.
I can't remember. I was with some of our friends. I know I watched it with them, but I don't remember if you were there or not. Maybe. Doesn't matter. How about the last one? And this one was from our quiz earlier. So hopefully you understand the question. So again, we're back at our barbecue. Do you want a beer? Person B, this young guy here says, no, thank you. Do you like beer? So you should know by now, we're showing surprise. We want to use a negative question. So we don't want to use, do you like beer? Right? So our answer should be B, right? Don't you like beer? Okay, so we would just change this do to don't. And that shows our surprise about him not wanting beer. And of course, there could be many reasons why he's not drinking, but she's just asking that one question there. Anything to add here, Tuan?
Yeah, I was just telling you earlier that sometimes I do hear non-natives ask me sometimes if I'm drinking a beer, and they say, do you like beer? And it's, yes, it seems a very unnatural thing to say.
Absolutely. It's kind of a weird thing.
Yeah, in this case, yeah, to show your surprise, yeah, don't you like beer? The negative, yeah, it's a very natural response.
Absolutely. Okay. So once again, don't forget to like us on YouTube, like our YouTube page, subscribe on Facebook. We have a new course out as well, Master the Present Perfect Tense. It's out on Udemy and Skillshare. I think it's really helpful. There's a lot of training, and we actually started a kind of new training videos, new system a little bit. So if you noticed our last video that we put out, the video that was in today's episode about the negative questions, it's a little different than our old training videos, but hopefully it helps people understand the process. And I'm going to say this every week on these videos until we stop doing them or until I die. You need to be training your English. Stop memorizing all your grammar rules. Stop memorizing vocabulary. It's not making you a better English speaker. It's just making you a smarter person, which doesn't necessarily help you speak English in the long run. You need to be practicing. You need to be training. It'll help, I promise. And I will tell you this again next week, just like I told you last week. Okay, there, I said it. Anything else to add, Tuan, today?
No, nothing to add. But yeah, just check it out. Have a look. Yeah, check out our new course.
Sounds good. So thank you for watching as always, and we will see you next time. Bye.